Hello, Michael. This is Christoph. I'd like to walk you through some thoughts that I've had on the project over this last weekend. I'm calling it presently Montana Ranch Project. Um, and what I'd like to talk about first is what I think the major assets of this piece of property are. One being simply the vast amount of space that you have to work with. Another is this interesting kind of coming together of Clark's Fork Yellowstone River and then this C-shaped pond. And I kind of came to the realization that I think it would be a missed opportunity if we concentrated all of our moves here. If all the points of interest that you're creating happen within this relatively small amount of area, but instead to create this, the Germans would say Hof. It's a court that's formed by four buildings. The new barn being the fourth leg of that, and for these four buildings to frame a view of a distant perspective, something that connects you to a destination that's on your land, but at a greater distance, something that's somewhat removed, something that you go out to, that has a different character and a different feel than everything in this zone has. So we've got the court here, we have the glass house as you described it there, and then I've mapped out this trajectory towards the east. So as the sun rises in the morning, your eyes would be directed in this direction in any case. And what I've mapped out here are these four circles, which I find to be sort of the sort of money spots along this trajectory. One being something that you would see directly across the pond in direct vicinity of the glass house and the court. Another one is the next water's edge point, which would be another good opportunity for the position of the grain silo gallery. And this likewise is on the other side of that water feature. And then this is the fourth destination, and this is actually the one that I'm leaning towards. And again, this is about creating sort of expectation and momentum on your property and really kind of exploiting the land that you have. I think we can do a lot to really create a very interesting zone right here, a point of arrival, and being able, though, then to make a connection between this and something that is about a 10-minute walk. It's 3,552 feet, according to Google, to get up to this point. And I'm not pushing this point too hard, but this is a 10-minute walk. So I think it's actually a great amount of space to walk. I mean, this could be the kind of thing where you've got dinner guests that arrive. Perhaps you've had dinner, or maybe it's cocktails before dinner, and you take a walk out to the gallery and then back again, and you're back in a half an hour and you can have dinner. So the thought is that you position the grain silo gallery perhaps in this location here, and it is this sort of remote destination on your property. What I'm doing here, this is another thought. I have two kind of sweet spots, one being this sort of outermost segment of the site that's nestled in these trees. It's a vastly different character than what you experience upon arrival onto the site. But I'm also very interested in this occurrence where you have this bend in the river and a break between these two bodies of water. One is flowing water, one is a pond. It's not flowing water, and you don't get this very often in topography whatsoever. And I'm not entirely sure what this move is right here, but I like this idea potentially of, maybe this is the gallery and it is on axis and it's what you see because it has some elevation, and maybe this is actually, we dial this in to have an elevation that you can see while standing at ground height in the court, or perhaps from the glass house. And when you arrive here, we might do some groundwork so that this becomes a level field, perhaps. And this, on the other end, could be a second grain silo. It could be a water feature. it simply becomes another destination. It could also be a sculpture garden, and you stand here and you look at these two bodies of water, and this tension between the two, I think, is something that could be capitalized on in a beautiful way. I'm always reluctant to jump into visuals, but I actually took this image from the real estate website, and I covered up what was the mobile home that was sitting on the site, and just dropped an image of a grain silo on it. Sort of levitated it off the ground, so there was some transparency upon entry. But the idea was that, per our conversation, this would be an art gallery of sorts. Having this closer to the water is beautiful because you have the play of light, you have reflectivity, and you also have just a lot of nature activity that happens at water's edge. Here you can see the path coming in from the right side. So these are my initial thoughts. I wanted to sort of just kind of paint a picture of how we would approach a project like this, and without getting too much into the architecture, into the details. But I would love to talk to you about this perhaps tomorrow or the next day after you've had some time to think about this. I look forward to it. Thank you very much.